point one of the 2017 social content report is around understanding the platforms. And there's a guy called Ed Couchman, who is head of partnerships, agency partnerships, I should say, at Facebook. So it's his job to make sure that brands and agencies understand what's working effectively on Facebook and what isn't. And what he was saying is that a lot of brands are taking video content which they're producing for television, and they're just sticking it straight onto Facebook.
It's such rookie shit. And the worst is they'll do the same of like the TBC 30-second, and they just plug that straight into as the pre-roll, right? Or they cut down.
Exactly. And his point was we need to get to the point where people are creating video content specifically for the channel. So we need to understand that video content that works on Facebook doesn't necessarily work on Instagram or YouTube. So if we take YouTube as an example, there's 4 different types of video content that ad hoc we would advise companies to use, and all 4 of those are slightly different, so we would cut them up in different ways. And so that's our big challenge for 2017 is talking brands through what works for what channels and then creating relevant content accordingly.
And I think as well, brands sometimes don't know where the tone of their message should sit, and how to actually communicate that across, like the nuances of text on Instagram with hashtag mentality compared to YouTube and Facebook, totally different. And I think one of the big mistakes we've probably seen with brands and platforms is fundamentally they're treating one like the other. And it's like, oh, it's all digital. It's like, no. And we kind of talk about, like the way you talk to your mother or your best friend, you're the same person, but
you talk to them definitely.
You definitely talk to them, especially if it's my mum.
So
I guess probably the point of that is understanding what platform it sits on, and to be fair, some brands shouldn't be on some platforms. But shitty agencies in the middle are telling them to need to be everywhere, and it's just wrong.
I think the classic example is Instagram. There's a definite tone to how you communicate on Instagram, and we've got Instagram experts that we pull in when we need to do an Instagram campaign because they know how to talk to people on Instagram.
Interesting dynamic around too, though, just getting into the Instagram pieces now with the live and the stories and stuff as well, is you can be a lot less polished on that as well, which is quite interesting because you can get into one platform, but it's almost now you've got two different tones of voice, which is cool.
I think the polish is an interesting thing. We'll talk more about that as these points go on, but too many brands, I think, are worried about everything being incredibly polished, and actually we'll get to Facebook Live shortly.
We'll
Facebook
get there.
Live is doing away with that slightly.
All right, keep tuning in. Content, bam.